Nice to see you. So a lot of new faces. It's only second biotechnology Riga meetup. Last time we was altogether 5 people. So today we have some kind of 15 or more. So it means 200% increase in attendance and ecosystem building. So for those who don't know me, my name is Riga. I'm representing Riga Biotech University Foundation. At this point I have managers and heads and by my occupation and my daily job is I'm a technology startup actually, and I'm a big fan of Silicon Valley and trying to bring its ecosystem somehow here. And here's the agenda for today. So probably we need to start with personal introduction because there's a lot of new faces for me, and probably you don't know each other. And it would be a good idea to shortly represent yourself and tell what you're doing and why you're interested in biotechnologies. Then I have speakers. Then I have some kind of short description of background of the group. And we have 3 speakers: Janis from Incel, others, and Greg, who will tell a little bit more about his life. Then we have a short discussion about technology methodology, ecosystem players. Last time we already started that, and we surprisingly for me find out that there's a lot of activities going on in Latvia in the biotechnology field, so I'm happy for that. And probably we'll find out some kind of new players, startups or ecosystems, some kind of enterprise who could come here and have speech or I don't know, represent themselves or share the knowledge. So probably we could start. At the very end of each meetup, we have this announcement session, so everybody came out and say something he's looking for, or like announce events, or something like what would be interesting for everybody here. So probably we could start with a short introduction in terms of who am I, what I'm doing, and what is my biotech, life science, or healthcare experience. So probably starting.
Okay. Hi, my name is Greg. I'm partner with Tom in a company called Ignixis, and we work together with people from Tallinn, the Danes at Accelerate from Denmark, and we have an accelerator, a life sciences accelerator called Accelerates Life, which is just getting up and running. My experience in healthcare is 0. Well, it's not quite 0, but I've been working in this field lightly for the last 2 years, working with some companies through acceleration process. So that's basically my experience.
Okay. My name is Janis. I'm representing a biotech startup Incel, so I will be presenting briefly.
Okay.
Yeah. My name is Tom Schmidt. Like Greg said, we're partners in an NGO called Ignixis. We've also been operating Accelerates Life and working with some really interesting, good people. And my background is 1983. I got a degree in biochemistry, worked a little bit for about 10 years in various areas of research, and then escaped into the horrible world of business, and then moved to the wonderful world of Latvia and trying to put the 2 things together.
Well, my name is Matis. I'm from Riga Technical University. I'm studying medical engineering and physics here in Latvia, and I'm also a design engineer in one of the companies that makes Latvian unstandard products like machineries for food production and also for pharmacy. So yeah, that's my story.
Hello, my name is Nelly. I'm studying Latvia University, and I'm here first time. And this is my boyfriend. This is really very new.
Hello, my name is Linda. I'm head of technology transfer office at Riga University, and my daily job is to bring together our researchers with SMEs and then business, and so I can help you with if you need some contacts researchers in Riga University. I think you know that Riga University is the biggest university in the field of medicine and life sciences among the Baltic states. So if you need developing new technologies in the field of life sciences, so contact me and we can discuss. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Zane and my background, I received a PhD in molecular biology some years ago, and now I'm holding the position of a legal researcher in Latvian Medical Research and Study Center. So our group is interested into biomarker identification in cancer patients and developing of test platforms for early cancer detection.
Okay, my name is Renato. I'm from Riga Technical University. Basically, I represent similar structure as Linda. I'm from, we call it Innovation Technology Transfer Center. And so this is one part, but at the same time, I'm part of the team which is currently developing bioreactor, membrane bioreactor for food industry, and so this is another platform of interest here for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Egil Stevens. I'm an IT person by education, but I'm doing modeling of cellular systems biology and synthetic biology, and I'm assigned this at Latvia University of Agriculture and Institute of Microbiology and Biotechnology at Latvia University.
Good evening, my name is Maris. I am part of 50% of Startup Assistentes, which Andres is the second part. We are making a new software system related software platform for analysis and processing of medical data. My background is also primary in IT, so it was a long time ago. About 5 years ago, I started to work very much with medical informatics projects, including Latvia eHealth and so on. So now I'm primarily working on this.
Hello everybody, my name is Anders Rosenthal. I am with other half of Assistentes, health information technology company, and my background is in physics. In fact, I have graduated Latvian University some years back, but past more than 20 years in IT system development and implementation, things like that. Like Maris, in fact. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Ojārs Josts. I'm a founding member of Tech Hub in Riga. I'm also a lawyer. I have a degree from Riga Graduate School of Law. And I'm especially interested in biotech startups which are connected to food processing and food related things. So I'm glad to see you all, and I'll be happy to meet and speak to someone in this area. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Norjons. I'm here together with Jānis, the Latvian startup Incel, which will be presented shortly. I'm more in the business than the science side, so we're trying to promote and offer this product to the world. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lena. I'm currently a student at the University of Latvia. I study chemistry, and the reason why I'm here, that blonde girl is my sister, and she told me about this meetup. I thought I could be interested in this. So.
Yes, quite interesting, diverse crowd. So I'm happy to have here a lot of universities and kind of related persons, including technology transfer offices and other stuff, because the reason why I actually created this and other technology meetups is with the main task to create global known Latvian technology startups, and biotechnology is one of the one of the most exponential technologies that I have for the future, the next, I don't know, 5-10 years. And my target for that is to build some sort of ecosystem in Latvia that, for example, at least 3 or 4 startups per year we could bring to Silicon Valley and raise venture capital funding there. Something like that for my imagination, how it would look like for measuring the output of quality of Latvian ecosystem. So, yeah, this is short history about how to create this group. So we created those groups as one of 8 technology and entrepreneurship groups, and we are concentrating on some exponential technologies. Those who are going to expand very rapidly in the future years. So here we can see for what we selected for Latvian development is drones and other stuff, is flying objects, self-managed, things, which is now very popular. Automotive part, which is going very rapidly. Artificial intelligence, biotechnology, that's why I'm here. Information technology, which is containing parts in everybody in those technologies. Nanotechnology, robotics, telecommunications, and design. So, as I told you, we created this so-called Latvian Technology Entrepreneurship Meetup Network. It consists from 8 groups. So here's a calendar for January for all groups. So we already had last week 3D printing meetup in RTU Design Factory. It's located in Kipsel. And all remaining 7 meetups are held here in Mill. So yesterday, but last Monday there was a CUDA or parallel programming, computer vision, computer learning, machine learning meetup sponsored by NVIDIA. Then we have Biotech meetup here today. Then we have next Monday we have UI UX design meetup for designers and process managers, something like that. Then we have an interesting Find Your Co-Founder meetup where we looking for guys who have an idea but don't have a team. So very early stage, not like pitching to investors, but pitching ideas for prospective teammates. And in next week we have Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies meetup, which is talking about how this crypto technology is changing the financial world and startups around them. Then we have drone meetup. You know that Latvia is now a drone country, since we have Ireland and Riga Factory and other interesting startups. And then we have mobile application meetup where we're talking about iOS, Android, Windows Phone and other application development. This is the same schedule. We get a bunch of sponsors, so there's mentioned a few. We have universities what is organizing all kind of ecosystem stuff here. Microsoft is sponsoring some sort of software and startup program. NVIDIA is sponsoring parallel processing imaging data cards. So we had a partnership agreement with NVIDIA. So in biotechnology and medical research, there's a lot of things where we need to process a lot of visual data, and NVIDIA is not only game developer, not hardware developer for games, but also for visual imagining those picture, some kind of processing for medical stuff too. So we're interested in research projects also, which is including NVIDIA hardware and software and CUDA, something like that. We could provide some kind of hardware for that. And LGA is a financial partner. That's why you also need to sign up with the sheets, and we're not spying their data, but we need to report back to the government what money is spending here. And university is our partner in educational programs, so it's one of the largest Silicon Valley MOOC providing technology courses. So last time we were starting to discuss what to include in those terms, biotechnology, and there's a couple of terms which actually are all somehow related. And since Latvia is not a huge country and we have a quite small market, we decided that all kind of terms could go under this biotechnology meetup. So life science, biotechnology, health startups, healthcare IT, mobile applications for health. Also coming to this part because we don't want to build some kind of different ecosystem for those guys who are developing just health iOS application. Biology, genetics, biological engineering, do-it-yourself biological things. Yeah. And about classifications, so here's I found out last time from AngelList that how life science startups are classified. So biotechnology is under the life sciences, and under the biotechnology only bioinformatics. So yeah, so we are decided last time that we could invite every startup who is somehow related to this health and medical things and all this biotechnology in this case, and that's why I'm happy to see them here. Every meet we try to find out some featured startup. For this meetup I didn't have time to put in list at least one, but we have two presentations and both of them are startups as far as I understood, so probably they speak by themselves what they're doing and share their experience and know-how. Few words about sponsors I already told. Yeah. From Microsoft, members of our group could get free Microsoft Bespoke this program participation. So you could get, if you qualify startup for this program, you could get a bunch of Microsoft licenses for free and cloud hosting server for your development for 1 year, almost free. Yeah, it's quite easy. Just bring me an email request and I can arrange that. So yeah, we have concluded on that, and we have speakers. So first speaker is Yanis. So please take floor. Floor is yours. And here's your presentation. Call me if you need to speak it.
Good evening. Well, I'll start with a PowerPoint presentation as research scientists are used to. It's the most attractive way of presentation, but we feel safe on it. And then I will finish with a brief commercial which we made for our lead product, and this is where Normals also comes into the game with our business developer for this product. Anyway, I'll start with my view on the ecosystem. And I know that Latvians and North Europeans are known for very drastic, let's say, let's say Latvians are known for lack of self-confidence. And this is not exactly a representation of a lack of self-confidence. We feel a little bit like, let's say, a clownfish in a bleached coral reef. The ecosystem is quite empty. As far as we are aware, and we would say that biotech from our perspective, it's companies that has some lab work, that has some experimental biology to do. We know we are aware of only 3 other companies in Latvia which were founded during the last 20 years. For the last 8 years there haven't been a single company, single startup in biotech sector. Again, I mean companies which have experimental biology lab. So founding a company in such an environment, it feels a bit weird. And it brings up all sorts of issues, well, is this for real, why would anybody go for a startup here? Because, let's say, there are completely different environments, ecosystems in Estonia and Lithuania. And that comes together. In Lithuania with a historic background, they had very strong biotechnology during Soviet times, and they had lots of investment, several hundred millions of dollars, selling their own enterprises. People know Fermentus, which was sold recently to Thermo Biofisher, and also companies which made biological drugs. I've been to Lithuania during last year now as a representative company. I've been several times. They really have an interesting ecosystem of biotech companies in Lithuania. In Estonia, they established something new during last 20 years. So there would be more or less a success story, especially in Tartu and Tallinn. But we're not lacking self-confidence, so we did go for a startup in Latvia. So we are the first ones in 8 years, so we got probably quite good coverage, and we got a few awards from government, which is very good. we didn't have much of competition. So what are our goals then? Why did we find this company? And I would focus mostly on a contract research part. So we would like to do biotechnology service to other companies, including cosmetics companies, pharmaceutical companies, food companies, any company that needs experimental biology work. So we would outsource our resources to other companies. It's generally known as contract research organizations. It's nothing new. It's not a new business model. And there are plenty of contract research organizations all over Europe and everywhere in the world. What we are aiming for, we are small, we are a startup, we're like shekels. We're going for small bits which are left over by the big beasts. So we go for very small, inconvenient, small volume, complex projects. So big CROs, they wouldn't be interested. It's too small for them. Universities usually have very high, extra charge, especially in Western Europe. They can charge 50+% extra charge for the research project. So we are somewhere in between. So we're using University of Latvia infrastructure. I'm standing in two places. I'm also head of laboratory in the university. So we have agreement with university. We use the university infrastructure, and we are offering these kind of small, medium-sized projects to other players here locally, and we also have some international clients. But I wouldn't say it's sustainable by now. Our advantage also includes that we have some really good equipment which we can partly use for contract research, not all of it, but part of it. And we can flexibly combine anything we have in university. So I wouldn't say we have much of competition. If I go to somebody at the University of Latvia and I say, would you like to participate? I just went to professor in physics, and he said certainly, and we will make an agreement with the company via us. So it's not difficult to operate, and people they're kind of fine with it, that they can do something for companies. On the other hand, we also had some mockery at the beginning that all of us who founded this company were biologists, so it was a little bit of kind of gossip. Oh, those people, they even collaborate with cosmetics companies. It's funny, they're going to do research for cosmetics, which is not a science, it's not really biological science at all. But at the same time, you see that research institutes are laying off their employees, that people are basically jobless, so we do prefer to cooperate with anybody. We can offer our contracts to anybody who is going to pay for it. And we also, we cannot just specialize on one area right now, so we have some niche products, and I will just briefly mention it's consultations, and we also have a real product to sell. And consultations, I have to be grateful to the government of Latvia, which sent me for 5 years to European Medicines Agency, which is a centralized agency that registers all new biotech drugs in Europe, all new biotech medicinal products in Europe. I was there in committee. I was probably either the youngest or the second youngest person in this committee, because there was nobody else from Latvia who would specialize in this area. So I have a very good experience of what is real-life commercial biotechnology products. And this is somewhat connected to what we developed as a prototype right now. Coming from university, from academic environment, we quite early realized that we need to have quality management system. So we went for ISO standard certificate. This is to start with. You may be aware of certain problems in academic labs that equipment is not calibrated, people are changing, rotation of human resources, so the results obtained in average academic labs, they're not very reliable, unfortunately, and that has been well shown in recent, let's say, reviews. So you need to have some sort of quality system in order to say to your customers that, okay, we follow quality system and we are not just doing something for the sake of it. So I already mentioned, consultations, that's a small part of our business. In vitro testing services, this is what we started already some time ago as part of university lab, and veterinary medicinal product, which I will show you later. We are just 4 persons and we have 3 activities, so it's just because since we are in a bleached reef, we are just trying to find any niches which are available around us. This is for this veterinary product, but I will go for a brief commercial video which we made for this product. And this is basically combination of all three our activities. So I was consulting myself to produce this product. So we didn't go for a human medicinal market because it's way above our potential. I mean, it requires huge investment, and I'm not aware of any such product developed in Baltic countries. So why not to go for veterinary market, which is basically transferring something from human medicinal market to veterinary market. And if you may not know it, but in the US, veterinary market is the fastest growing market. You know, there's a lot of technology, a lot of potential, which just needs to be transferred from human medicinal market to veterinary. Regulation is much easier. Let's say entrance costs are much lower. So yes, I consulted myself. We went for this direction. Here is just a comparison of first line is our.
Do you charge yourself?
Yeah, well, that's a different question. I become a chairman of board or something, which is a bad idea for a scientist. We really need a business person. But yeah, that's my charge, I guess. Anyway, this is our product, which has its all comparative advantage to the existing products in the market, which also includes US. So we feel confident about what we are offering, and we already have clients in Western Europe. A few of them. Well, it's all fine what I was talking about until now. Yes, we have some good ideas, we have some contracts, we have one product, but you know, is it going to be sustainable, you know, right now, right here in Latvia? And well, I think we have to look further down the line. Right now we got a very good grant from Latvian Investment Agency, so we are funded for the next 16 months without problem. 80% funding intensity, which is extremely good. So, but what happens after 16 months? I think if you look further down, what could happen is actually what is going to change. What change going on in global biotech industries? This is a quite recent article from a scientific, but from top scientific journal, which basically says that biotechnology is going virtual, or something which people here make money from virtual ideas, virtual companies. And there are a number of reasons why they go virtual. And this is good news for Latvia, let's say. You really don't need something like, I don't know, like Harvard University or USCLA next to you with all their facilities. Basically, you can outsource almost everything, including your office. This is not a bad idea. I mean, scientific journals, you may or may not believe them, but okay, this is last year from Wall Street Journal.
Tissue recovery. Standardized cell transplantation product AlloMT Cell has been tested for safety and clinical efficiency. More than 70 horses from the Baltic region and Germany have been included in the clinical tests from 2010 until 2014. The indications for AlloMT Cell use are tendinopathy and desmopathy in sport and hobby horses. Ultrasound diagnostic equipment is employed in AlloMT Cell therapy protocol and to guide cell injection procedure. Dosage is adjusted for each individual case based on the extent of injury. Clinical tests have shown that AlloMT Cell product is safe and effective for treatment of tendon and ligament injuries. AlloMT Cell can be used repeatedly. There are no allergic reactions or side effects after multiple administrations. AlloMT Cell is manufactured in standardized batches. It is cryopreserved and ready to use for treatment. Frozen product will be shipped immediately after request. AlloMT Cell, helping horses to recover faster. Cell transplantation therapy for tendon injury has been extensive.
Okay, so it's question time, so...
Thank you for your attention.
Yeah. Question time, so any questions for?
What's the attitude of university to your spin-off? Is
Well,
it good, is it bad?
They're very positive. So I guess there are some funds coming in the next round of EU finance, which are for innovation again. And we're really very short on startup or any kind of SMEs in this sector. So university basically needs us, And of course, we need university, so it's a very good synergy, and we couldn't possibly complain about.
You said that you are using the infrastructure of your university, so it means that you are using only a space, or you are also using the technical equipment and
It's technical equipment as well, which can be used. All these restrictions on certain parts of equipment which is bought from European funds, let's say. But we are basically renting everything. It took that was a very kind of a long process. It took almost 1 year for the university to understand what kind of agreements they can make with us, because there was no previous, let's say, case to take this legal agreement from. And we were ready to do all sorts of agreements, to rent equipment and space, and to pay some monthly rate or something. But they couldn't figure it out how to get some money from it. I mean, it's public sector in Latvia is extremely awkward in some respects. So after all, we are just renting, officially we are renting just space. We are also using equipment. But it's not because we don't want to pay for equipment, it's just that they don't want to take money for equipment. It's easier for them. And it took 1 year to make such a simple agreement. I mean, even with all this kind of support from Chancellor of University, it's just amazing. Yeah. And that's why we couldn't continue operating as we were at university. We are also doing some contract research as part of university. But public tenders and all these problems. Then you have to plan half a year in advance for something you don't know. So it's absurd. So in order to be viable in any way, you need to go at least outside this public tender law, which makes you completely disabled. It's difficult to tell to a company in Ireland that we have this public tender law which prohibits us doing this and that, Well, they just don't get it.
There is an exception if you are working with a company, then you do not need to go through all those. I can give you my right.
Well, at least in the University of Latvia we don't have exceptions. We need to go through this.
Probably.
Because if you're a public entity like university,
The Riga Strategy University also is a public institution.
When you have solved the big puzzle, the riddle.
No, it means if you are doing contract research and you have agreement with company, and all the things that is needed for this contract research, materials and so on, you can buy without public procurement. There is one exception in this law that you can do it. So maybe
But you still have to go for a company where the university has agreement with. I mean, you can always say that you're buying something different. Okay. Anyway, we're not going back. we're not going to dissolve our company for. I mean, it's just. Okay. Also, making an agreement with a company from Europe, it is very difficult. They just want to send you an invoice and for the work. But you cannot do it like that. You have to make an agreement with them, and that agreement also has to be in Latvia.
We have many contracts in English, for instance.
Well, then you're breaking the law, or the law has changed. I don't know, but it was just getting too heavy, and we thought this is enough, and we exited.
This is a normal process in our system.
So you have money from Leah, is that right?
Yeah, well, we are in an agreement process of agreement.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the program that you work with?
Well, we haven't signed the agreement yet, so I don't know if I can disclose it. We are, but it's a very good program for us, I would say. It's public. It sounds.
Yeah. Are you aware of any startup accelerators, or is this startup acceleration model applicable to biotech? Startup accelerators are for tech startups. They collect batches for 3 or more months. Maybe you've heard about Y Combinator and tech area. Is anything similar in biotech's sphere, or do you have any comments on this?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Tom will have an accelerator.
Okay, then we can discuss it later. Yeah, I don't think I can answer this question. Okay.
So what is that exact buildings you are now using in structure of Latvian University? Is it some kind of faculty or research institute or?
Well, it's a different building. Yeah, it's property of University of Latvia, but it's also a faculty. It's something which is, how to say, historic belongings of university and placed it.
Okay. So some secret labs.
No, I mean, no, it's just that the universities until recently they didn't really own most of their the buildings. But that was something which was part of university until 1940. It was nationalized. So after 1991 or whatever, this law. So the university got it back as a true property. So they renovated the labs. They invested already from foreign funds. So it's part of, it's a truly part of university. I mean, from legal point of view. So.
And what kind of equipment you have or you could use or you need for your research in some short words?
Well, it's a different techniques which we use and a lot of small items and large items. What I still have to do is I'm materially responsible for all this equipment and I have to make this real annual report. I'm amazed of how many pieces of equipment we have, including all sorts of automatic pipettes and large, small equipment. I mean, ranging from 50 euros to probably 300 euros, 300,000 euros. It's a range of equipment cost, and it's for cell culture, it's for cell analysis, it's for microscopy, it's for cell sorting, cell visualization, real-time analysis, immunohistochemistry, whatever. I mean, all polymerase chain reaction. It doesn't mean much. I mean, it's molecular biology, cell biology, immunology. We are in possession of what we need, basically.
Okay. Are there any questions more? No questions for you? Okay. So next week.
Okay, I think we are a bit switching from biotechnology to IT stuff, and my name is Anders Rosenthal. I'm representing company Assistentis. So, in general, Assistentis, like Latin word explains in essence what we aim to do. It is to help medical enterprises with IT stuff, and in general, we are. Idea is to help to provide this quality clinical data to patients and doctors anytime, anywhere. And let's say the reason is that there are some aspects what is changing in the world and in IT and related to e-health. This is global, how to say, trend to e-health, electronic, health data processing, which means e-health is also in some kind of European Union strategies, and our neighbors in Estonia already for several years using this e-health platform, in Lithuania also a little bit ahead. So there is a hope that this year this system will be implemented also in Latvia. It's in development stage already, and there was plans already 2 years back that it should be ready for use. Then this is also a bit related to hospitals, how they are getting their payment. It's DRG model, which is coming from States, which is also requires new data for hospitals. There is also some new data protection regulations from European Union. Also, our medical institutions are, let's say, dreaming and thinking about acquisition of foreign patents to provide services to them, and that's why already second year they are. There is ISO, how to say, quality contest between ambulances, hospitals in 5 areas. So they are very much interested in international recognition of the procedures, how they are working. So they are implementing, in fact, also the same ISO 9001 processes. And through this process, they are also finding out that they need some more data, how to improve their business. They find out that there are sometimes too many processes, so they can combine some of them. And also new technologies are coming, and one reason is that the population in general is becoming more older. Medical stuff is not growing so much, and there are coming new technologies, new sensors, so you can attach some sensor to your iPhone or other gadget and get some preliminary advice. So those tendencies are coming to Latvia, and they are also global aspects. And at least with last year regulations, there is requirement that during this year, all our medical hospitals, ambulances, they must connect to Latvian e-health system, so they can start to exchange with this clinical data. So this is also one reason why such systems are, let's say, needed. So I will show just a few pictures. So we are in this middle part, so we can collect all kind of data here from different kind of systems, from laboratories, from sensors, from management, from operating rooms. Very technically, we have used this HL7 data exchange standard, which is kind of global standard how to structurize this and in what structures to keep all this medical data. Then one more scenario is that we can collect data from different systems and store it in kind of operational data source, because usually when you collect data from different sources, you should somehow improve this data so it can be analyzed in some structured way. And then to feed this data to some kind of data warehouse systems for analysis, for reporting, for kind of follow-up tools. And third idea is that there are coming those sensors in our daily life. It's interesting that last year in United States was first mobile application, which is under doctor subscription. It is in a field of sugar, yeah, to measure sugar in your blood, and this clinical research shows that when you use on daily basis those measurements and provide some online feedback to this patient, you can reduce this volume of sugar in the blood. And that's why insurance companies are also interested in such kind of medical approach. And as mentioned, there are other trends, so you can connect some sensor and you can get some preliminary advice before you go to doctor, because in many cases there are, like in United States, there are several ranges how much it costs if you go to doctor, but you can even make a picture of of some symptoms and get some advice. So is it urgent? You should call ambulance, or you can wait maybe a few days, or maybe you can forget about this idea. And again, even if you have all those sensors, gadgets, you need some background system where you can store this data in structured way and analyze it. And this is again where we are coming here. And this HL7 standard, it's like de facto standard used in equipment and other systems for data exchange between systems. So we are from very beginning using this concept to be open to exchange of any medical kind of data and use it. It also provides possibilities that, for example, existing systems which are already implemented, they can exchange data with such kind of system, and let's say gradually they can move to other solutions. I think this is very shortly about this concept, what we are doing. We are positioning our system, and other idea is in fact that we are providing this solution like a platform, and we are working with partners which are building on top of this platform those applications which are used by different kind of medical areas. So this is also kind of collaboration with partners and with some medical people. Yeah, I think that's pretty shortly what we are doing. With this project, we are also a startup company. We got financing from Jelgava incubator. So yeah, and we are now on next stage on kind of commercialization of this solution.
But are you working with any hospitals in Latvia?
We are willing to do that, so we are in some first contacts, yes.
So in short words, you're a middleware company.
Yes, somehow yes, because there are, if we put simple analogy, it could be like App Store, because there is like iceberg of this technology which you cannot see in fact, and on top of that there are different kind of applications, for example for general practitioner, for receptionist, for laboratory, for surgery and whatever, let's say.
It's for Android only, or you are planning to do like
in fact, we are not, let's say, at the moment providing any applications. This is a platform where you can feed from Android or iOS applications all this data, and we are in this background to store this data and analyze it.
So you're a middle from the patient to the government system, something like that?
Yes, something in the middle, yes. And as a technology, we also use Oracle database, so we can grow, hopefully without any big limitations, because medical data is growing very fast.
So do you have some clients? Or do you have some clients?
Not yet.
My main concern is about security of the data and of the legal part of it, data protection. What's your approach and how will you ensure that data will be protected and my biodata, my health records won't be stolen?
Yes, that's right. This is a big aspect of such kind of systems. That's the reason why I mentioned this European Union regulation for patient data, because there are very high penalties planned. And with this approach, usage of Oracle database and other solutions, we can identify and log each activity who has looked on this data. So we have all this log, and also we separate clinical data from personal data. So it is linked with encrypted link, let's say, and even you can see my personal data, for example, but not my medical data. You need to find this link, how to put it together. And from other side, this means that we can also provide this data, which is personalized for clinical research purposes as well.
You should take care of that.
That's true.
Because yesterday or the day before yesterday, NSA Twitter account was hacked by someone. So we are living into a completely different security environment than 10 years ago. Then you need to for sure that.
So, how do you see a bright future for the startup? So, what you're going to do is development, try some funds and develop some prototype.
Prototype is done already, so we are on the next stage.
It's summer working, so it's...
No, it's not working. It's prototype's idea was to test this approach, what we had from the very beginning.
It's not working system, it's just some...
It's a system with like zero version of system.
Very simplified system.
Yeah, it's simplified.
Yes.
Very, very simplified.
But it's working somehow.
Okay. For sure, yes.
And you could go to your customers, let's say medical company, data per processor.
Yeah, we are talking to, for example, some hospitals, for example, have the IT teams, and they have developed their own systems using some 10, 15 years old technology. So now they are doing some IT audit, and they recognize that they have all those security holes and other things, and they need to improve. And this is where we are coming and offering. Let's say we have all this basic solution done already with all security data logging connection to e-health system for billing. So you can put your specific modules on top of that. And that's how we look to simplify their life and how we provide those full solution which is needed for doctors, let's say.
Any more questions? No questions. Thank you.
The floor is yours.
My name is Greg Mathers. I represent the company Nexus along with Tom. We are part of an accelerator called Accelerates Life, which is a life sciences accelerator. We have partners in Estonia, in Finland, in Sweden, in Denmark. Our head partner is Accelerates in Denmark, who has been running accelerators for about 8 years. So they've been in it since the beginning, since accelerators really started. They have several verticals that they work in and have worked with several hundred companies over that time. Accelerates Life, like I said, it focuses on life sciences. They've been doing life sciences acceleration for a number of years. Some of the people here have been through the process. What they're working on now is to find a new funding model for an accelerator, really, because accelerators in Europe, none of them make any money. They're all government supported, right? And here you have this situation where you have accelerators teaching companies how to be sustainable, and they aren't sustainable themselves. Okay? So that's the idea, is to find this new funding model to make an accelerator sustainable. Okay? And where they work from is this idea. I mean, this is a common idea among investors, right? That we want a good team, not just a good idea. And so what they're really trying to work on is putting this into practice in the financial model that they're trying to put together, or that we're working to put together. We know about difficulties in finding funding in early stage companies. You can get it when you're really, really new. You might be able to get some grants through Experians and other places. Once you're bigger, you can go to venture capital, but there's that space in there where it's very difficult to find money. And so what they're looking for, what we're working on is to put together a model that would help companies at this stage find money, find financing. Right? It's focused on, this financing model is really focused on the idea that as people learn and as they get more educated, their earning power goes up. Right? More highly educated people make more money. Right? And so that's part of the idea of this accelerator, is that you take a good team of people, put them through an acceleration process, and they're much more likely to be successful. Right? The company is much more likely to be successful. But even if they fail with the company, their earning power is still going to increase because of the education they've gone through. So in the future, they will make more money. Right? And so what that means is that the way that they're thinking about funding accelerators, and they're already starting to do this, but we're putting together a new platform, is to do it a lot more with loans to companies and have them secured by the founders. So each founder is responsible for repaying the loan if the company fails. Right? And there's certain mechanisms in place to protect founders and things like that. But really it's to take a chance on the founders in combination with the company. Right? On the idea that as they go through this process, the accelerates process is a minimum of 6 months. You know, you can get a whole MBA in 1 year, so 6 months is a significant amount of time. And it's education that's focused directly, it's hands-on education. You're working on your company, on developing, you're learning real business tools that work, and you're working with experts and mentors for a 6-month period. So there's a steep learning curve that goes on. So people come out of this much more educated, and they can be pretty intense sessions, as some people can tell you. Right? So it's a focus on, you're going to start to focus on future income when you talk about loans, not just on past credit history. Right? Flexible funding, focus on affordable loss. What is it that we can afford to lose, not just on a potential upside? Right? And what they're doing right now is they put together in Denmark a website I hope we have internet. Good. All right. And this is a beta version. It says right up in the corner, it says, oh, you can't see it. But basically, this is a website that a team of entrepreneurs with a new company, a startup team, would go to, and you just apply online for a mix of loans and investment. Right? There's a tool down here called Rank Yourself, which is not operating yet. It's in the process of being developed. And what this will allow, what this does is it ranks you as, there you just log in. I won't log in right now. But it will rank your skills, your abilities, your potential as an entrepreneur. Right? And give you a ranking. And that helps with your credit rating to get a loan, to go through the accelerator. Right? This loan is going to be distributed. Part of it goes for development costs of your business, and part of it also goes to pay for the acceleration process. Right? And you can get a mix of investment, equity investment, loan, based on what's best for your company.
But loan is provided by the accelerator or by the banks? Or?
By the accelerator.
Okay.
Right? By the accelerator. It's the interest rate they have on here is 6 to 9%. Over 7 to 8 years to pay back. If the company were to fail, the payback period extends to up to 20 years for the entrepreneur. Right? Minimum they'll take is 70 euros a month to pay it back, which most people can afford 70 euros a month. But they have been working with companies now. The reason they're doing this, one of the big reasons, is they've been working with several hundred companies, and they track everything. 96% of the companies that have gone through their acceleration process are still in business, right? Which is a pretty high number. So they're not too worried about the companies going bankrupt and not being able to repay loans. Right? What we need is is we need help with this because this ranking system is in the development phase, and so they need data for it. And so what there is here is an application process where we'd like you to go online and apply for a loan. Okay? The application process, you won't be given a loan. I can't get into it now because, oh, maybe I can.
Greg,
Yes.
may I say, this looks like there are many other advertisements for microcredits in Latvia. This looks like similar. You choose your time and amount, and then you can apply in 5 minutes for the loan.
Yeah.
But not for 30,000.
Actually, I got it wrong. You know, you said your question is where is the money coming from? This is actually going to be a crowd lending model.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's not coming from banks. So right now the pitch is to entrepreneurs, right? Come and apply for the money. But on the other side of it, it's a crowd lending model that business people and...
It was going to Rihard's LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's going
Did we go to your LinkedIn? Okay, look.
Yeah, so right here tonight, what we're doing is we're trying to get entrepreneurs input. Next week, we have our fun Danish colleagues coming, and they're going to be talking to investors from the Latvian side to understand how well this fits with the crowd lending idea fits with what Latvian investors would be interested and willing to work with. I mean, everybody here is probably, many people here, with what Imprimatur did with the so-called pre-seed. It's a very similar concept to the pre-seed.
It's the same thing as crowdfunding, except instead of just getting money, you're getting a loan.
And how the community could help you with just trying to submit the data, some test data?
It's a really simple application process in which they'll get data that they can then put into their model. Okay? It takes 15 minutes, maybe not even 15 minutes.
So,
and then there's a survey.
Can I ask a question? How do you rank people for like be a good entrepreneur? Like you see Facebook like images or something, and you say, oh, you are not good enough or something like that.
How many likes did you push?
I mean, the thing is, of course, what they're relying on for the better start is that people are actually basically honest. So in the real application form, what they would do is, of course, they would verify a lot of this information. So what they're going to do is, using their own algorithms based on their own data of a couple hundred companies, is you look at, you know, how many companies has this person been involved in for each founder of the company. Then how much money did those companies raise? How successful were they? And also in there, for example, they ask you, in the application phase, they ask for your LinkedIn, so they can have access to your LinkedIn profile. One of the neat things is using your LinkedIn profile. What they do is they actually look at your network. Does your network correspond to the industry that you're working in, and how far does that network of your network extend? So they have these algorithms, and it was funny listening to Giannis talking about issues with public procurement, because one of the things when we tried with Accelerates to apply for public procurement is they wanted CVs from people. In Denmark, nobody gives you a CV. You give your link to your LinkedIn profile. And they look at your LinkedIn profile, which then provides that extended network that says, is this person real and can they do it? So the ranking is based on a continuous algorithm that's improving all the time. So that's our request. And then also down in the bottom here is a survey, a little blue thing down in the lower right. Yeah. And then the survey would ask for your reactions to what the process of applying.
And what the website looks like.
Yeah, what the website. Yeah, you can say it looks too much like SMS. Which actually I hadn't thought about that much.
Yeah.
Shows how innocent I am right now.
Maybe you can diversify your
Diversify our portfolio, yeah.
So the right website name is...
Yeah. Thanks for that. So yeah, go to betterstart.com, fill out the application, do the survey, and then you'll be in the system too, and when it's up and running, you'll get notice of it.
We'll get the money.
Absolutely.
The first 10 persons will authorize their LinkedIn profile to get money.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Another reason they want to do this too is that what they find with the companies they've worked with is that a lot of companies are actually interested in getting loans instead of giving up equity. And they can't get it from banks, you know, and there's just not a model out there really that's loan friendly.
The other, and you were asking about accelerators before.
One more question. What are the terms, details of the terms of loan? Well, you mentioned some, is it biotech only or any kind of startup application?
They work in several different verticals. This is so, and we work with Accelerace Life, but in Accelerace in Denmark, and this model will be for several different verticals. Now, what was the first question? Oh, about the details.
Yeah, the terms are kind of a work in progress. The terms will be very similar to what Accelerace does right now with the loans. The typical Accelerace model now is you give a loan of around 50,000 euros, 20,000 euros stays with Accelerace to pay for it, and then it's very similar to the imprimatur where you have a grace period where you're only responsible for interest payments and principal starts after 3 years.
And what they have on the website right now is up to 30,000 euros per founder.
And the biggest qualifier that we didn't say is that in order to get this loan, you have to agree to be part of the acceleration process, because the agreement with the investors is that all of the people who get this loan go through acceleration, which increases their chances of being successful. They have the data that shows that.
So you have to promise that you will invest some kind of time into the idea.
Yep. And then the loan is dispersed on a monthly basis. So, you know, if you go bankrupt and you've only used 2 months of the loan, you don't have the whole loan to pay back.
And if you're interested in other details about the acceleration stuff, just call me.
Yeah. And you have to be a team. You can't go as an individual. You have to be a team. And they want groups of people, not just individuals.
How is accelerators planning to be the first who have an exit for several years after several years operating? You said that
Actually,
accelerators usually don't have feedback from
it's considered to be an evergreen model. So the idea is that it will become sustainable, and the idea is that the accelerator will, within, I forget the number, 7 years, well, 4 years actually, 4 years will become sustainable with its own money.
Okay.
So it's not dependent on public funds. So it's an evergreen model. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the downsides of all accelerators is that, I mean, for example, even Y Combinators, that they give the same amount to each company. So that means it determines the valuation for that company. Whether, you know, whatever you may believe the valuation is determined off the top by what the accelerator is giving. And what this does is it avoids that problem.
It looks also not just at the company and the product, but the quality of the founders determines how much money they're going to get, and the number of founders.
One last question. Is this model going to be sustainable in the era when we can go and grow most or many startup projects and products can be funded via crowdfunding, such as Seedrs and Crowdcube in UK, and of course Indiegogo
Well, I think the difference is that with this they're paying for the acceleration process. I suppose you could go through a crowdfunding and then go to the accelerator and pay for the accelerator that way as well.
There is actually a crowdfunding model in the United States that focuses on this area in health sciences. And what they've done actually is they've cultivated, they call it a crowd of caring. So the only people who are allowed to invest through this Kickstarter thing for Kickstarter Life are people who are interested and have a commitment to that area.
Okay.
So, it's a little different model.
I guess a new idea from your presentation is that probably we could make some sort of application which determines your value as founder from your LinkedIn profile. You just press a button, there's a software behind who's analyzing your connections and LinkedIn and your experience, and say you're worth 100,000, for example.
Yeah.
Good idea. So yeah, please.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So we got all of speakers for today. So I'm closing now. So there's time for announcements. Do we have any announcements for today? Develop biotech project, looking for job, service offers, any event announcements, startup project introductions, any for today?
I sent out an email to a whole group of people, and several people got this email. But one of the things, thanks to Rehards for prompting these ideas, that we at Enixis want to do is provide once a month or so a small newsletter about what's going on in this area. And get, we're never going to write papers about cell biology, that's for damn sure. I don't have the time. But so I'm very open through my email to ideas. I mean, I'm definitely going to put together short summaries about what Giannis and Andres said, to include with your permission, of course, and also about what we're talking about with Accelerates. And I'd love to hear, for example, what's happening with the Baltenpet project, because that's an important thing in this area. And so I'm very interested in whatever ideas for things that could be included in the newsletter in the broad idea of biotechnology.
I mean, local newsletter for Latvia, or in terms of Latvia,
mostly
including global news. Something like that. Okay, that's a good idea. So we start to build this contact list from emails you send us. So we'll try to make some kind of MailChimp mailing list for this group. And I hope that you are not considering it spam and you receive first reminding. If not, just unsubscribe for that.
Yeah, another, by the way, just for all the people who are interested in the money side of things, the people that I sent this out to about 80 people, and every investment company that I sent it out to agreed that they want to be part of this list, that they want to receive more information. So the investors, whatever we may think of, a lot of people in the investment community are genuinely interested in at least following what's going on.
So today we don't have any investors here.
There were supposed to be 2 people here.
Okay. So at least for tomorrow, for next time, it will be next meetup for biotechnology in the
I would like to ask, how can I give you my email so I can receive the newsletter?
Just send to Greg.
Thank you.
Or just meetup emails, which is actually listed in the meetup description.
Mm-hmm.
So next biotechnology meetup is February 11th. It's Wednesday. So what we're looking for next speakers for this event. And do we have any from the crowd today who wish to talk next time for meetup? Any of you? I would. Okay, Edith? So probably what I really would like to hear from those university transfer offices probably would be very good, nice idea to present your experience with those biotech startups in your universities, both from Riga University and Riga Technical University. You have some kind of experience in that. Probably you could speak and tell others how to work with those universities. If you are a startup and looking for labs like guys did with a lot of universities, some kind of cooperation. So what they really need to do, where they need to go, because we're looking for not only medical or scientific guys here, but also for startups who are probably not very wet science related. So we're looking for somebody who will be in development team in university and related equipment, research facilities, other stuff, which is not viable to build themselves, as we heard about this personalization of biotech startups. So maybe I could ask prepare some presentation for next time, or a small speech.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay. It could be interesting for community generally, I think. Also, you could discuss about problems and I don't know, opportunities of Latvia's kind of ecosystem, as we heard today from the guys who's network started. So yeah, that's all for today. Next speakers, yeah. So we will keep you in touch by our emails and try to set up interesting lists for next time speaker. Now we have networking time. Thank you for coming and see you next month. Thank you.